Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time coming across this channel, you are most welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. So this is a continuation of the previous video I posted. In this video, we'll be stitching our shirt together. To start, we start by stitching our button allowance. I won't be stitching the tip of my button allowance because it is sealed already from the factory, so I will just go ahead to stitch it this way. I'll carefully stitch it down. I will do same thing to the other part of the front piece as well. So after that, I'll go ahead to join my two shoulders together. Take one of the front piece with the back and stitch down the shoulder. I will also repeat the same process to the other shoulder as well. I'll take one of the front and place it together with the back piece and stitch down the shoulders. So after this, I will go ahead to stitch the bodies of my shirt together. I will be stitching this with 1.5 inch allowance that I gave while cutting it out. So I will carefully stitch it down to the hem of my shirt. Then I will repeat the same process to the other part of the shirt as well. That I went ahead to trim my shirt, placing it out this way. So while doing this, you need to be very careful so that you won't reduce the length of your shirt. Before trimming it out, please make sure you align your shirt properly before trimming so that you have an even curve after trimming it out. So when I was done covering the hem of the shirt, I went ahead to fold it with the 1 inch allowance that we gave earlier while cutting it. So if you've watched to this point, please consider subscribing if you have not done that. And also, if you derive any value from this video, please make sure to like this video. That way YouTube will suggest this video to a larger audience. So after doing this, I went ahead to stitch our sleeve off camera. So I stitched it down with 1 inch allowance I gave while cutting it out and notched it to know exactly where I will be placing it. So after doing this, you make sure you fold it out and make sure your sleeve, you align it with your shirt just like so. This is how you fit your sleeve. You make sure you place your sleeve together, aligning it with your shirt just like so, and you stitch it round. When stitching it, you carefully align your sleeve with your armhole just like so that at the end of your work you won't be having rumples at your shoulder or at your sleeve. You carefully do this, aligning your sleeve with your shirt just like so. You do same thing for the other sleeve as well. When you are done stitching it, this is what you should be having. The seam of your sleeve should align with the seam of your shirt just like so. So after this, I went ahead to also do same thing for the other sleeve as well. I did same thing for the other sleeve as well, aligning my sleeve with my shirt, aligning the seam of my sleeve with the seam of my shirt this way, and making sure the two tips are equal before stitching it down, just like so. So after fixing your sleeve, the next thing you have to do is to fix your tie collar. Before you do this, you align your two shoulders together this way, just to get your midpoint and notch that part. So when you are done notching that part, you take the rope which you'll be using for the tie collar and notch the midpoint as well. You fold it together this way and notch the midpoint as well. So after that, you take your shirt, you also take your tape and measure out your neck circumference just this way, starting from the tip of your button allowance. You carefully measure it round to know what you'll be working with. Please, while doing this, you need to be careful. You can as well do this more than once, just so you get an accurate measurement. You can also repeat this procedure more than once. So after this, you go ahead to take your rope, divide whatever measurement you get by 2. After dividing it by 2, you place it on your rope just this way. You place it at the midpoint, at your notch point. You place whatever you get at your notch point and mark it out just like you see me doing here. So my neck circumference was 21 and quarter. So 21 and quarter divided by 2, and I place it this way, just like so. I place the 21 and quarter divided by 2, starting from the notch point to the other point, and also did the same thing to the other part, just like so. This way I will know exactly where my neck will be starting and where it will be ending. So after measuring out my neck on the rope, I found out that the remaining part of my rope, it will be shorter. It won't be enough to give it the tie effect. So I went ahead to join it and redo the process in order to get my midpoint. So after that, it's time to stitch our rope. You start your stitching from the one end of the rope, just like so. You slant your stitching this way in order to give it a slant effect when you tie it. You stitch it down to your notch part, just this way. You stitch it to the part that you notch, where your neck will be starting from, just this way. So when you get to your notch point, you also notch it as well. At this point, be very careful in order not to exceed your stitching line. Your notch should be very close to it, but it shouldn't exceed that line. You also go ahead and do same thing to the other end of the rope. You slant your hand this way so as to give it a slant effect when you tie it. You do same thing to this part as well. When you get to your notch end, you also notch it again. both ends. You trim it out this way on both ends, and you turn it out with whatever you have and iron it carefully. When ironing it, make sure one part of your rope overlaps the other part. That way, when you are stitching it with your shirt, your stitch will be landing on the overlap part. So when you are done ironing it, you go ahead to insert your shirt into your rope this way. Note, the overlap part of your rope should be facing down. So when doing this, you need to be very patient so as to have a neat finished work, so that rope you won't be having rumples on your neck. You carefully do it this way. At this point, you can see that the notch part of our shirt is aligning with the notch part of our rope. So you carefully stitch it down to the end of your button allowance. When you are done doing this, you go ahead to iron it out. This is what you should be having after stitching your rope to your shirt. You can see how neat this work is. So this is how yours should also be. You can see that my stitching line is very close to the tip of my shirt. So this is what our shirt is looking like. This is the end of it. Pardon me guys, my rope was not long enough to give it a bow effect,